Yield farming with Tron, DeFi on the Tron network. Is this working out? Last week, I made a video where I invested $1,000 onto SUN.io, and I said we would be coming back to look at that investment and see how it's performing. Good morning, everybody. Let's jump straight into that investment and see what is going on. Now, if you didn't watch last week's video, I'll leave a link to it above. I will also leave a link to it at the end of this video in case you want to watch this one first. But that video actually gives a step-by-step tutorial on how to get your funds invested in SUN.io so that you can start yield farming and making these returns. Okay, as we can see here, after a week, we have got 5.7 SUN tokens which we have farmed, which are ready to be claimed. So let's actually go through that process and quickly claim them. You click the select button and you click on claim, and then you would hit the claim button and accept it. This will go into the Tron Link wallet. Now, if we want to know what those 5 coins are worth, or those 5.7 coins are worth, let's just get out a calculator and do the maths. SUN currently is trading at 1652. So if we had to take 5.7 and times it by 1652, we can see that we've made a handsome profit in a single week of $94. Now, that $94 which we have made in only a week, remember it's from Thursday to Thursday. If we look at it at face value, we're going to say, wow, this is a great investment. But what we really have to do to understand impermanent loss and understand yield farming much better, we need to actually go and see what the impact has been on our capital. Remember, our capital was put into our automatic market making liquidity pool where people could trade with our capital, and that's why we are getting paid for these for the liquidity tokens. We put in 8,744 Tron tokens, and we balanced that out with 22.4 SUN tokens, and that came to the $1,000 of the initial investment. So if we want to see what our initial investment is worth, we would actually have to unstake it, because there is no other way on this platform that you can look at your capital and see what the ratio is. I'm actually going to do that right now. I'm going to take the max. These are the liquidity tokens. If you remember, these are tokens that are promissory notes for the SUN and the Tron coins that we've given. So this amount of tokens actually equates to $1,000, or at least it did at the time of investing. So I'm going to unstake this. If you guys know of an easier way to see the proportions, what I'm looking for is how many SUN tokens I have and how many Tron tokens I have in that pool without unstaking. Please drop that in the comments below so that I don't have to go through this process every time. Fortunately, the Tron network, the fees are really, really low. So unstaking and restaking is a reasonably painless and inexpensive task. Of course, it's also very fast. So we would have to open our wallet, and let's see if we've got those coins unstaked. Yes, we have. There's our transaction. It has just come through right now. So now we would open the wallet and we would go to the Just Swap platform, and we would actually go to the pool section. Now we would want to remove our liquidity. We don't actually have to remove it to understand what has happened with our capital. We just want to get a visual. We just want to see it. So we have 25 SUN tokens. Remember, that is actually increased. Our initial investment was 22.4, and now we've got 25. And Tron tokens, we've got 16,600, and that has decreased. Our initial investment was 18,700. Now what we are seeing here is the effect of impermanent loss, and this is what eats into your capital. So we would actually have to go and do the calculations to understand what the effect of this loss is. And why don't we do that quickly? Our current capital breakdown. We have 16,677 Tron, and at today's value it's 0.25 cents, which leaves us with a value of $416. We got the additional SUN, so it's 25.29 SUN at today's value, which is 1650, which leaves us with $417. That leaves us with a total of $834. Now, as you can see, that is substantially down from our initial investment of $1,000. But this is not directly related to impermanent loss. This is more related to the fact that both of these coins have just dropped. So you could basically say it is market loss. Let's do the exact same calculations with what would have happened if we had simply kept our current capital. So we had 18,744 Tron, and if we had it at today's price, it would be $468. And our original 22 SUN at today's price would be $369. So we can see that the total would be $838. In other words, if we didn't enter this investment, we would still basically have the same amount in our capital. Now, there is a $4 difference, and that can be probably attributed to impermanent loss. So what we're looking at now is not impermanent loss that has dropped our capital. It is a market loss. In other words, both coins have lost in value. Impermanent loss is more clearly defined as the trades that happen to bring those coins into equilibrium. In other words, the fact that we now have less Tron and more SUN. I hope that makes sense. So, in summary, let's work out where we are with this investment. If we had just held our $1,000 and not entered any investment pool, well, I think the answer is obvious. We would have $1,000. If we had just held our coins in Tron, we would have had at today's price $937. So we would have had a loss. Now, if we had held our coins in Tron and SUN in a 50-50 ratio, we would have had a loss, and we would only have $838. But because we invested, we have got the $838 basically plus the 5.7 SUN which we mined. So we've recovered some of our losses, and we have $928. So in conclusion, if we had simply held our $1,000, we would have avoided the market downturn, and we would have been in a better position. However, because we did invest, we certainly made some money because we made the 5.7 SUN. So it's not as bad as if we had just held the coins. But, and this is important, it is better if we had just held our coins in Tron. So if we hadn't have bought the SUN coin, we would have been better off than investing. Guys, there's a lot to be considered when looking at these investments, and it's not straightforward. There is market loss, there is impermanent loss, and there are many factors that you need to be aware of when investing in these pools. Now, of course, if the market turns around, we will start to see that we make some profits because we have additional coins. However, if the SUN token drops dramatically, that will mean that we will result in getting less and less Tron, because the automatic market maker constantly tries to balance this. And as a result of that, we could see a dramatic loss in our capital because only one side of the coins deteriorated, that being SUN. So it is risky to start investing in pools where you have to have 50% in a well-known coin and 50% in a coin that is not so well-known. Guys, you need to do your own research. There's a lot that goes into these things. Right now, you can see exactly where our investment is. And if it is of interest, I will make a follow-up video to see how this investment progresses in the weeks to come. A lot of you might realize that I've actually reshot this video because in a previous video, I blamed impermanent loss for these losses. After a lot of consultation with a lot of you guys in the comments, I realized that some of the things that I'd said in the previous video, blaming impermanent loss for the loss in this investment, was not in fact factual. and was not correct. On this channel, guys, we're all learning together. The concept of impermanent loss is something that I am still battling to grasp, and to say the least, I don't have a full grasp of it, but I do have a good understanding of it. And we will learn together, and we'll look at these investments and start to work out whether yield farming is a good investment or a bad investment. What I'm trying to do right now is furnish you with some real on-the-ground information that will assist you in making decisions whether yield farming is beneficial or not beneficial, and possibly opening up a whole bunch of things that you never thought of. In other words, what's happening behind the scenes with your capital when you are earning these yields at the front. You're getting these farming rewards, and making sure that when you balance everything out at the end of the day, you haven't suffered a loss. Guys, that's it from me. I'm out.